is up, folks? Welcome back to Ever So Sleight. Jorge Anito here. Thanks for stopping by, and again, welcome back. My friends, I have a bit of a confession to make. I've had an ongoing addiction that needs addressed. I guess it's really more like an obsession. Those aren't the right words. Guilty pleasure. There you go. My guilty pleasure is internet mysteries. I love watching internet mysteries. And maybe you've seen a few yourself. Some investigative YouTubers trying to crack the case on some Reddit mystery, maybe trying to solve a 4chan puzzle. Maybe they're just trying to unearth some secrets behind an obscure YouTube channel. This stuff is super interesting and intriguing, fascinating to me. Ultimately, I want to see what happens. I want to see how things play out. With any luck and dedication, you'll see these guys and gals get it sorted out. Actual cases that get solved. And all the rabbit holes along the way, well, that's just part of the fun. I ran into a bit of a mystery myself earlier this year. A card sleight mystery, if you will, involving a very certain card sleight. Not just any card sleight. This move is regarded as one of the best sleights in the world of card magic. Researching this move has led me down some very curious rabbit holes with some wild twists and turns along the way. All of what you're about to see play out revolves around a little move in this book authored by Stephen Minch, chronicling the innovative card magic of Ernest Eric by Forces Unseen. It's been a super interesting journey, and it all starts here. A little move by the name Bow to Stern. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a card sleight mystery, the case of the Bow to Stern bottom control. Also, stay tuned to the end of the video. I have a very special guest coming on to teach Bow to Stern as originally performed by the late Ernest Eric. This is going to be a two-parter. Is that a word? Parter? So, yeah, 2 parts. It's a lot of content, a lot of material to cover. I don't want to overwhelm you. You may be wondering, what an odd name for a card control. Because that's what it is. Bow to Stern is a card control where the card gets controlled to the top. But remember, the title of this video was The Case of the Bow to Stern Bottom Control. More on that later. But what odd terminology, right, that Mr. Eric decided to go with when naming this card control. What is a bow and a stern? Well, it basically refers to the parts on a sea vessel, a boat. The ship's front end would be the ship's bow. The rear end, or the back end, would be the stern. So, from front to back, from bow to stern. There's metaphoric usage in today's day-to-day language. An example would be, I'm going to start this video game, I'm going to play it from bow to stern. That means from start to finish. And if you just Google bow to stern, you'll see that as if you're imitating a dog's bark, as in bow wow, that's how it's pronounced, bow, the ship's bow, from bow to stern. And that's really what this card control has going for it. From start to finish, from bow to stern, it has it all. All the hallmarks of a good card move. I do not do this card control very well. In fact, I do a variation of this. We'll get into it. But essentially, that's kind of what it looks like. And again, I can't do this very well. That's why I'm having super special guests come on at the end and teach the original version. But my first exposure to this card move was not in by Forces Unseen, but rather through Chris Ramsay's seamless card control video.
This is a control loosely based off of Bow to Stern by Ernest Eric. There are a lot of similar handlings to this particular move. Chris Mayhew had one using the plunger principle. Also, I know that Bizua Cristren had something similar where he would control it either to the top or the bottom.
I loved what Ramsay had to offer. I mean, I just fell in love with this move. I learned it immediately. Hey, weren't you just wearing a different shirt? Yes. I filmed this over a series of days. Because you're slow in the head? Hey, maybe you could try being nice. Indeed, Chris Ramsay's variation is a great move, no questions asked. To this day, you will see many people credit this move as that next level move, taking them from beginner stuff, inducting them into the world of intermediate card handling. A couple years would go by, me doing this move, and then I would get this book. Until last year, 2020, you couldn't even get this book for less than $500. It's been out of print for a long time. Everybody wanted it. Just hard to get. Then Penguin Magic came along, 2020, acquired the rights, reprinted it, $50. I got a copy. I'll leave a link in the description where you can get one yourself. So now I had before my very eyes the original source from whence all these variations came from. And I couldn't do it. I struggled with it, at least. Yeah, I can kind of get my way around it somewhat nowadays, but it's a hard move. This is a tough book. None of the stuff in here is easy. All the stuff I did in the intro was easier stuff. Bow to Stern is no joke. It's very difficult. I could see why Mr. Ramsay chose to nuance it a bit, change it up, make it a bit easier and maybe mainstream. And I got to thinking, back on Ramsay's video, he referenced a couple people, of course, Eric in the book, but also a guy by the name of Biz, which essentially piqued my curiosity, and I had to search out all these variations. Chris Mayhew, he also mentioned, which he performs with a color change. You also have Sean Devine, which uses this method as like a card force, doubles as a card control. Really cool. I'm going to leave links to all these videos in the description. During my research, I found that what I thought was Rick Lack's variation called High Rise with Theory 11, published in 2011. So as I'm looking at Rick Lack's video, the trailer, I'm reading the comments, and I'm seeing people say, hey, you know, this is great, but Subtle Shift has come before this. And so naturally, I look up Subtle Shift, find that it was created by a guy named Fernando, PI Art Zone. I can never say the whole name. I just call him Fernando. Rick Lack's had great handling on this. Let's check out what Biz has to offer. I love Biz's blind square. That is a super clean handling. In fact, if you go back and listen to Ramsay, he credits Biz, right, as one who come before him. All this just led me to believe that, hey, a lot of people have work on this. This is a beloved move. And, you know, I just want to get back to the basics. I want to get back to the original, back to the book. Lo and behold, on page 18, this is where things start to get really interesting. There's a footnote. I'm just going to read it right here. It says, Mr. Eric invented this control in 1985, shared it around that time with several magicians. After this book was published, he discovered the almost identical idea, though lacking refinements, in Marlowe's magazine, number 6, 1988. Also by Alan Ackerman, with his new convincing control in Here's My Card, published in 1978, pages 82 through 85, also applies the same bowing principle to deliver an outjogged card to the bottom of the pack. I had to rub my eyes. and check the first time I read that to see if my eyes were deceiving me. Did I really just read that Alan Ackerman had a way of controlling the card to the bottom with this bow to stern type thing going on? I could only ever imagine this being used as a top control. How on earth could it go to the bottom? I had to see this, and I would stop at nothing until I saw this for my very eyes. But I had to look for the original source, which Stephen Minch credited Here's My Card by Alan Ackerman. Running into a bit of an issue because guess what? That's out of print too. And if I ever thought By Forces Unseen was difficult to get a hold of, for crying out loud, this one is impossible. I searched through magic dealers, I went to eBay, I went to Magic Cafe, checked out different threads. I could not for the life of me find a copy of this book. And then a light bulb went off. I thought, why don't I just go to the source himself? Mr. Alan Ackerman has a very active YouTube channel, of which I'm a subscriber, and I just mosey my way on over there to one of his videos and I just leave a friendly comment. And I say, hey, I've heard of this move that I've read in By Forces Unseen. They're crediting you. Man, I can't find the book anywhere. It'd be really cool if I could see this in a routine or something. And wouldn't you know, Mr. Alan Ackerman got back with me and said, you know, hey, there's a sandwich effect that I use this in. I'm happy to show it. I was like a little schoolgirl. I couldn't believe it. Alan Ackerman is actually going to show this move that I've been searching for forever now. He's going to present it himself, the man who made it. He's going to not only show it, but in a routine. I was so excited. I was so pumped. Now all I had to do was just wait for him to publish the video with the routine. It's called 76 Sandwich, by the way. And so a week went by and a new video goes up. But guess what? It's not 76 Sandwich. In fact, another week goes by, another routine goes up, and it's not 76 Sandwich either. In fact, several weeks go by. I think 5 or 6 weeks go by before I start to think, hey, maybe he forgot. I didn't really want to bug him about it because I already asked, and if I ask again, it just kind of might seem... I thought, well, you know, I went to another video, I comment on a lot of his videos, and I said, hey, man, still looking forward to that 76 Sandwich, just whenever you get around to it, if you're still willing, And he did write back, and he said, yeah, that's right, I will get around to that. And he did. He did publish the video. I've been dying to see, and let me tell you, things do not go as planned. There is some crazy twists and turns. I have to end the video part 1 right here, but I'm not going to leave you high and dry, but I can guarantee stay tuned for part 2 for some absolutely insane stuff that happened along the way. I'm so excited to share that with you. Like I said, not going to leave you high and dry. Here's my buddy Mark from over at Card Mat Tutorials, here to teach the original bow to stern.
Thank you very much, Jorge, allowing me to participate in the creating of this video. Fantastic move, great control, getting it from there to there, as he's explained all the history too. So nothing else to do besides actually show you how to do it. Yeah. Spectator picks a card by putting their finger on the back of one, and they put their finger on the back of that one. Card gets protruded out of the packet. I will show them the card one more time before I push it into the middle of the packet. Then with a little bit of magic stuff like that, their card comes to the top. And that was it. Yeah, that was it. How's it done? Well, quite easy. You spread through the packet. Spectator touches the back of any one card. You'll hold the packet to start with higher up in your hand, not in normal dealer's grip, but further up, just so your first finger just about curls around the front of the packet. They pick a card. You out jog it about 2/3 of its length, sticking out. That finger will make contact with it. Your thumb will pinch it to keep it still, stop it moving around. You push this packet on the top, again keeping pressure to stop that card moving as you move your thumb to the side so it doesn't squidge out that way. Then you'll pinch with your fingers on this side so that card stayed perfectly still. You're then going to turn your hand straight up to your spectator, but you're going to grip the top of the card with your first and second fingers first. So you're going to grip the card as if you're doing that to show them what the card is. But you're going to be grabbing hold of it and then lifting your entire hand up. When you get about there, your thumb is just going to start pushing that packet down till it nearly clears the card. Then as you're going up, you're just going to pull that card up a bit, push it against your finger, and then it'll pop up to clear on top of the packet. While it's pressed against your finger and them two are keeping it in, and you got your thumb and your fingers holding it at that side, it looks like it's still in the middle of the deck. But you've actually bent it up onto the top. Then you'll push it down flush with the packet as you're bringing your hand down. That'll give you the room then to stretch your thumb as far as you need to get it to the back, to push them in square with the packet just before it comes into sight and you control their card to the top. Spread through the packet, they touch the back of a card, 2/3 of it out, 1/3 of it in. That finger just contacting that, I didn't have it down far enough. That thing, the reason you have it a bit higher up in your hand, if you do it where you'd normally hold it in dealer's grip, and then they pick a card and it gets out jogged, and you do that, and then you do that, and you do that, besides dropping them, which I wasn't supposed to, the other end of the packet jumps out the other end. Yeah, so that's why you need it higher up in your hand. Spread through, they touch your card, out jog it, touch it with your finger, grip it with your thumb, put them on the top, grip it at the sides, grip the top of it, pick it straight up, push that packet down, slide that card up a bit if needs to be to clear the packet, slide it back, grip it at the sides, push it with the packet as you push them in, and you've done it. I'll go from the other side and you'll see what it actually looks like from your side. Yeah, make it easy if you just understand. Right, from this side, you'll spread through the packet. Spectator will touch the back of a card. You'll out jog it, pinch it with your thumb, touch it with your finger. They'll go on. You'll catch it at the sides, fingers still touching it. You'll come in and grip the front with your fingers. You'll get to there, you'll start pushing down with your thumb. You'll pull that card free, it'll pop up. You just slide it back, get a grip with your fingers and that, keeping it all there. Because if you don't, and watch it, you need to keep pressure so it doesn't do that. You just slide it down the packet so you can get your thumb to the back as you push it in. And you've done the job. Spread through the packet. They touch a card. Didn't do that very well, did I? They touch your card. You grip it. And as you're doing it, do bend the card. So you bend the card, gives you a bit more cover. That goes down. You pull it up a bit. You get your bend. You slide it on. You've got a grip with it with them. You'll start sliding it down. Pushing. And there you go. Back to me on the other side. And so there you go. That's how it's done. Cards selected. Cards high up in your hand. Pinched at the side. That's nice and tight. Grip it with your fingers. Give it a little bend. Pick it up. Push that packet back. Slide it forward. Slide it back. Slide it in and square the pack. and the cards on the top. Right, once again, thank you very much, Jorge, allowing me to participate. Very nice of you. I'll hand it back to you. Yeah, your video. I'll hand it back to you and I'll shut my gob and get off. See you later.